Get it straight, Buster. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do, and if self-preservation is an instinct you possess, you better do it, and do it quick. I'm here to help. If my help's not appreciated, then lots of luck, gentlemen. If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor. I think fast, I talk fast. I need you guys to act fast if you want to get out of this. So, pretty please, with sugar on top. Listen to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back. I am still in Las Vegas. I mean, I'm not really in Las Vegas as of the time of the posting of the episode, but as of the recording of the episode, I am recording here from Hennessy's downtown. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler, back in Rockville, Maryland.
Yeah, it's always seems like we're doing like a my brother does the traffic, the local traffic here in Baltimore, and it always feels like you're giving me a traffic like update as you are doing the intro of at the beginning of the show. Yeah,
why does it feel like a traffic update?
Because you're just kind of you're very very sing-songy with your intro. I like it though. Don't change anything. I don't want you to change anything. Believe me, I like it.
Hey, don't change it to try to please me. You never want to work that hard.
Don't go breaking my heart either. I couldn't if I tried. How many song lyrics? Oh geez. So who was it? Was it Sean Carpenter that put out Famous Trios? Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were. That was good last night. You had some good answers to that. You go. Well, there was I put Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think of that one.
Three's Company.
Chrissy, Jack, and
Janet. Chrissy, Jack, and Janet.
Nice.
I did not put on there which I really wanted to. Cindy, Marcia, and Jan, Greg, Bobby, and Peter.
Right.
Didn't put any of those, but you put the triplets, the Bonner triplets. Yeah, that was really good. So there was a whole bunch of good ones. I was just trying to be Manny, Mo, and Jack, the Three Stooges. We can get the list is endless. Hey, I want to talk to you about. Do you have anything structured that you want to talk about, or can we talk about my potential format change?
Well, let's talk about the promise statement first, which is to provide a learning experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life. So, as long as your format changes, your proposed format changes, still fall under the promise statement, I'm totally open to hear them.
I think they do. So let me run this by you because I think we're in need of if not a permanent change, maybe even just a temporary change. Mm-hmm. I really feel like the interviews that we do add tremendous value to people's lives, and I think and every time I do one, I keep thinking we have a lot of these, and we have so many more people. I get probably now anywhere between, I'd say, 5 to 10. Interview requests every week.
Wow!
So I usually get two or three maybe a day. So maybe 10 is on the low side. Maybe 2 is on the high side for a week, or on the low side for a week. But we do get a number of them, and now they're starting to move into phone calls. So now the phone calls sound something like.
Are they calling 4242 DJ Doug, or are they calling your number?
They're going to my website. They're finding out my phone number.
Okay.
And they're calling me now, and they're leaving me messages. Hey, such and such. This is John Smith, and I'm with blah blah blah, and we have a podcast, and we are also helping some of our guests reach out. And I'm like, holy shit! There are people that are actually calling. Who calls people anymore?
True.
But the last 2 weeks, I've received several phone calls. Now, I don't know if it's the same company or more than one person at the same, multiple people at the same company, but they're definitely maybe you tell me. I mean, what do you think? I would
Doug,
love
you've been dancing around it. You haven't actually said what change you want to make.
So the change that I would like to consider is maybe doing one more interview show a week. So maybe having Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays being the interview days, and Tuesdays and Thursdays being the day that you and I add value to people's lives and are entertaining people. I just think that there are so many interviews right now, and there are more that are coming. And these are good guests. These are like quality people that have been reaching out. It's very hard to say no, but I do right now.
Well, why don't we put it out to our Funkin' fans? We'll put it up on the Facebook community. I think we can do a poll, right? Like, isn't there a way to do a Facebook poll?
Yep. And you can do that.
Can you do a Twitter poll too? I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, you can definitely do a Twitter poll, but let me go to Facebook for a second.
Yeah, let's do a Facebook poll and a Twitter poll, but we don't want to post it yet. We don't want to post it until actually Wednesday when the show is going to be published.
No, I agree with you. I just wonder if you can do a poll from... Yeah, you can. You can create a poll in the Nice Guy community when you do a post. So we're going to do that.
Okay, and we're going to say, do you want us to keep 3 shows a week of us and 2 interviews, or do you want to go to 3 interviews a week and 2 shows of us? I like it. Let's ask the community what they think, because we've been talking back and forth for a long time about, okay, do people like the interviews more? Do they like us more? We can't tell from the downloads because we think everybody pretty much subscribes, and then if you don't like the interviews and don't listen, you still download them, which is all cool, or the other way around. So we just don't know. We need to hear from you guys.
And really it's very challenging for us to determine with consistency what shows people are listening to, because originally I thought it was people were listening to our interviews, and then you and I had stepped up the number of just shows that you and I are just shooting the shit and adding value and having a good time, and then that download count was going up, and now I'm seeing, as I'm looking at the numbers, I'm seeing the interview shows are back up again. So I don't know what the hell to think of it.
Can't tell. Well, we need to put it out to the community. You guys let us know. If you're not signed up for our Facebook community yet, go to greatshortcut.com. Nice shortcut. Yeah, niceshortcut.com. Because we're the nice guys, not the great guys, right? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Niceshortcut.com makes sense, yes.
Yeah. So the interviews, now we could also do something else. We could also do it so that we could do the interviews on the Wednesday, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Mm-hmm. Until we run out of the backlog. But for some reason, I'm thinking that that's not going to be the case because we do have so many. It's not like everybody that is asking to be interviewed, I'm just rolling over and saying, okay, let's get you on the show.
Right.
These are guests that I really think have some really good information that they could add to the to the knowledge base here. And I think that they're all good.
All right. Well, let's put it out there. Let's see what everybody thinks. But I think that's a great idea.
Well, I feel like I'm being rushed through this interview here. Through this podcast. Am I being rushed through this episode, Strickland? Do you have somewhere to go?
I think I'm trying to rush you off of this topic because I don't know that there's any reason to discuss it any further until we can actually hear from our funkin' fans. I don't think. Do you think there's more to add to the conversation here?
No.
So I'm just trying to change the topic, not trying to rush you through the podcast. Now, if I were trying to, get to a drink and you were keeping me from it, then I might be rushing you through the podcast. But no, that's not the case right now.
Fine. Okay. Whatever. That's how you're going to be. You're going to be this way the entire time. Is this how you're going to be?
I'm trying to keep the experience entertaining for our listeners. And if we are rambling on about this any longer, I think it will not be entertaining. I'm trying to.
I wasn't whining. I wasn't whining about it. I know you're not saying.
Getting ready to whine. Okay, that was pre-whining right there. Is what it sounded like to me.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, what's so important that you want to talk about? I'm ready. Of course,
grill.
I'm not going to rush.
Oh, I see. You feel like you're being rushed because the topic for the day is mine and not yours. Now I see where it's coming from.
Yeah, you have something important. You have something important to say. It's always my ego. It's always my ego.
Well, it is something important to say, but it's something that you're going to have a lot to chime in on. So this is certainly not just my topic. It just happened to come to me because I'm sitting across the street from the Heart Attack Grill. Okay.
What the hell is the Heart Attack Grill? That sounds awesome and horrible at the same time.
The Heart Attack Grill is a place that serves alcohol and burgers and onion rings dipped in lard and what they call full cream shakes. So they're like really, really fatty with a whole lot of calories. Basically, the Heart Attack Grill is saying this food is bad for you. Do not come in and eat here because this food will kill you. Okay, it was really, really bad for you. But what's so interesting about it is on the outside, it's this guy, Dr. John, who started it. Now, I don't know if he really is a doctor or if this is just a joke, but he's been interviewed on a lot of different, big networks to say, what the hell are you doing? And he basically is saying, this food is bad. And for burger joints like McDonald's and Burger King and whatever to tell you that it's really not so bad for you, they're fucking lying. All right. He said, I'm being honest. I'm telling you right up front, this food is really bad for you. It is going to kill you. You shouldn't eat it. But I know you like it. I know you're going to eat it. So I'm going to make it as tasty as possible. But total transparency, I am telling you it's really horrible. And on the outside of the restaurant, it actually has quotes from these interviews that he's done with people. And basically,
like,
it says this.
I'm thinking this is like reverse psychology. Like, don't come in here; you will have a heart attack. And people are going to be like, "Yeah, but I like the food. I want to go in there and see what it's all about."
Well, it's like the from Pulp Fiction when he says, the pig is a dirty animal. And he says, "Yeah, but bacon is good. Pork chops are good." I mean, that's basically what he's saying. And I love the honesty. There are two things going on here. First of all, it's honesty in advertising. So you are not trying to hide something. You are not trying to lie about your product. You are being ridiculously straight ahead and honest about your product. And he has taken it one step further. Not only is he being honest about it, he is using something that most people would think of as a negative and turning it into a positive.
Right. Totally get that. It's just amazing that shit works.
It is.
That to me is just like, okay, I'm actually going to tell the truth. I have a product that will probably, if you eat too much of it, it probably will kill you.
Right.
The next thing you should do is like put a diabetic warning on there. Like, if you have diabetes and you come in and you drink a milkshake, you will not feel well after you have one of these milkshakes. And you know what's going to happen? All the diabetics are going to go in there and have milkshakes.
I'm going to take some pictures and we'll post it on the Facebook community of some of the quotes on the outside of this place. But it is absolutely hilarious. And I really love the fact that he, again, not only is he being honest, but he actually has turned a negative into a positive. In my band, for those of you who don't know, I play in a wedding band on the weekend. I've been doing it for over 20 years. My band uses sequences for certain songs, right? So basically the drummer has a click in his ear and we have a live guitar player, which is me, and another guy, live keyboard player, live drummer, but some of the extra horn parts, extra keyboard parts, bass lines sometimes, they are on a MIDI sequence, right? So it's kind of like a backing track. We don't have background vocals or anything recorded. So it helps fill the sound out. Well, for a long time, other bands from other agencies were like, oh yeah, they don't even really play their instruments. They're not even real musicians. Like, why would you hire them? Because they're just playing to tracks, right? Like saying it as a negative.
Right.
Somebody would bring it up to me. I would say to them, look, you're hiring a 6-piece band, okay? There are a lot of songs, like old Motown songs and 70s songs that have lots of horns in them.
Horn section, right.
Right. You got lots of pop songs nowadays that they put in what's called ear candy, where it's layers and layers of different keyboards that would be very difficult to reproduce with just 3 musicians and 3 singers. So what I tell people is, look, I'm giving you the sound of a 10 or 12 piece band and you're only paying for a 6-piece band. So I did everything I could to turn it into a positive. And really, that's what it's all about.
So think about this for a second. Maybe you can help answer this question, and if you can't, maybe Stacey Sherman could, because I'm sure that she could chime in with some knowledge about this. The original Police, that was Sting, Andy Sumner, and Stuart Copeland. It was just 3 of them, right?
Yep.
So what did they ever? Did they use, what do you call them? Sequences or backtracking or whatever?
I don't know.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know what they ever did live in concert, but, there are different bands that do different things. For example, the Police. If you just sit and listen to most Police songs, it's usually just vocals, bass, guitar, drums. That's it. I can't think of any Police songs off the top of my head that have keyboards. I mean, maybe some of them a little bit of keyboards or a second guitar or something like that. And there are a lot of bands out there that is their core. Rush is a 3-piece band. I mean, The Who is technically a 3-piece band because Roger Daltrey just sings. But, like The Who did a lot of songs where they layer. So Van Halen is actually a great example because most of the first 2 or 3 or 4 Van Halen albums, they didn't even overdub guitars. It's like one guitar, drums, bass. David Lee Roth singing. That's it. And
how do you fill the sound though? Because I'm thinking like the Police when they had their the album, the Synchronicity album. I mean, there's like so much sound that was filled. How do you fill without doing all? do you just play more than one instrument, like when you record it? Like
Well,
you record one?
I would have to go back and listen to some of the songs on Synchronicity, but in the studio, obviously you can add keyboards, you can add second guitars or third guitars, but I think a lot of those songs really are just guitar, bass, and drums. And it's you make the choice to mold your sound around that or to add to it. If you're like, hey, I don't care what we do live, this is what I want to do in the studio. And there have been plenty of bands over the years that maybe when they go out in concert, they'll include a horn section, or they'll add a keyboard player, or add a second guitar player, or something like that to make the live concert experience sound more like the album if they overdub a lot of stuff in the album. But it's just the choice that they make. And almost every pop artist that goes out there now, even if you have a real live band, you've got tracks along with it.
Yeah,
they're playing along to sequencers. I mean, it's just what is done nowadays.
Yeah. So truth in advertising, or turning a negative into a positive, or potentially turning a negative into a positive, it is really about how you spin the whole thing. I love the idea of the heart attack. What's it called? The heart attack grill?
Heart attack grill, yeah.
but in actuality, don't you just walk out of there feeling like crap because you've eaten like the wrong, anytime I have like a meal that's so heavy, it's like, oh God, I shouldn't have eaten that. Don't feel good.
How do you feel when you walk out of McDonald's?
I tend not to walk out of McDonald's because I don't go into McDonald's.
Or Fuddruckers,
Okay, that's probably a better example. But it could be the same way I feel. It's really challenging because if I go into a place like Ruth's Chris, which is a higher end steakhouse, I still can have that, oh my God, I ate way, way too much feeling.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like I've eaten potato chips for dinner though.
Well, but that's it. I mean, you think about the what we think of as the fast food burger experience, right? What does it include? It includes a burger, right? And then it's usually like mayo and ketchup and mustard, and then it's a big fat bun, and then you've also got French fries with it. And if you do a shake, I mean, that's a lot of really heavy stuff. Whereas opposed to Ruth Chris, you walk into Ruth Chris and you're having a steak, right? Like there's no bread, there's no fries, there's no bun.
Oh, but geez, come on. You've eaten in Ruth's Chris with me, and we've gone with some of our partners before. And when we go in there, it's like it's never just the steak and the vegetable and the potato and a glass of wine. It's always, can I have the cream spinach?
Yeah, no, that's true. And it's like the bread, because they'll usually bring hot bread on the side.
Yeah, they usually bring
like
some
that.
bread, and you're usually having a cocktail before you actually have a glass of wine with dinner. It's like I still walk out of there feeling like, oh my God, I'm so full. That was it's all, but it's like it's the next day for me. I have that food hangover when I've eaten like all the really fried food and the gross, and then it stays with you, and then it's just not pleasant for the next. It could be actually like 24 hours of not pleasantness when you eat that milkshake kind of. Oh God, just thinking about it.
That's true. I wonder if we have any doctors or nurses who are listeners that can explain the difference there, because I think you're totally right. I mean, I think about, I just realized that they've got a Crystal Burger down here now. It's in the, is it SLS? No, I think it's in.
It's called a Crystal. It's called a Crystal Burger.
Well, you know Crystal Burgers, like from down south, right?
No,
like
what is
the
that?
Little baby burger, like little tavern burgers.
Like Little Tavern. No, I never heard of Crystal Burger, but
Oh
okay.
yeah, Crystal Burger is like the little tavern down south, right? But they call them rectal rockets because they go right through you, and they give you the shits, right? But they taste so good. But it's basically just this greasy, tiny, thin burger, and then they put onions on it, and then they steam the bun, so it just kind of melts in your mouth. I mean, they're so damn good. But you're right. It's like, hey, it's just bread and meat, right? Why is it different from Ruth Chris? I don't know.
I'm not sure I'm willing to sacrifice the next 24 to 48 hours of my feeling really crappy because of a meal that I've eaten. But it brings up an interesting point.
Doug,
yeah,
bacon is good. Pork chops are good.
It's very true. I'm very curious because our bodies are meant to, although we can digest a lot of things, but there is a lot of caveman in us. So we go back to the days of we can eat a lot of things raw that would not make us sick. Mm-hmm. They call it now sushi, but before it was just I haven't invented fire yet, so I'm gonna have raw fish. But I wonder, what it is. What's the difference between eating a handful of pretzels for dinner and eating like a well-balanced meal? With the exception of you're not getting the nutrients in your body, your body still does process it and take what it needs out of it. It just, it's very interesting, the food that we put in our body. Like, what can you get away with putting in your body and have it being okay?
Well, can I tell you, I used to be able to get away with a lot more. When I was younger, I could do a lot more drinking. I could eat a lot more bad stuff. And I think as we get older, I really do think it is a lot about what you are used to and what you do all the time. For example, when I was younger, I used to eat bad all the time, but I had the metabolism and did enough exercise that I didn't really gain any weight. Like, I worked it off. And so as we get older, my regular everyday diet has been forced to be better because if I eat badly, I'm going to put the weight on, right? So since my body has gotten used to eating better, it doesn't take so well when I eat badly, So it's whatever you're used to. Like, they talk about kids nowadays, why there are so many allergies being formed and why so many kids are so sensitive to a lot of things. And I think there's some theories out there that it may be because of all of the hand sanitizers and the antibacterial stuff that parents have gotten so over the top to keep their kids so clean all the time that they're not building natural immunity.
And I'm going to go the other way on this one. I'm going to say, it's probably partly because of that, but I also think it's because of all of the things that we do in the growing and the preparation of our food. When you used to eat beef, and let's take this back, 100 years ago. When you used to eat beef 100 years ago, there was no commercial farming the way that we know commercial farming now. Cows basically stand, right next to each other, and they're hooked up to machines, and they get intravenous antibiotics to. There are some documentaries that will completely turn you off if you're a meatitarian, will completely turn you off to wanting to eat anything that is farm related. Even you can't find a non-GMO peanut anymore. You can't find non-GMO corn anymore. There are companies. You remember we had this whole show. We got to an argument about. Remember we were talking about Monsanto and everything, all the shit that's going on with them.
Right.
You can't have chemicals or commercially raised animals anymore without chemicals.
Doug, bacon is good.
Yeah.
I know. No, I'm with you though. You're right. It definitely could be that a lot of these chemicals that are being pumped into all of our food absolutely, it very well could be. And you're right.
How do you get away? How do you get away from it though? How can you get away? I can walk into Whole Foods and they can tell me that, hey, well, it's organic, but organic today is probably still not the way that organic was 100 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you're right. You can only go so far, I guess, but. You're gonna pay.
I do like bacon.
Make the choice. Are you gonna how
I do like. Yeah, I do like my bacon. I do love it, and I do love turkey bacon though. And you can get some paleo, some non-processed, and it's also like the stuff that they put in it, the corn syrups and the chemical dyes and the pesticides that go into growing the vegetables, and a lot of that stuff. I think personally that has a lot to do with the chemical sensitivity or the food sensitivity that many people have. Wheat was not grown the way that it was 500 years ago.
That's very interesting to think about, yeah.
Many people have wheat sensitivity or gluten allergies or celiac or all of the other conditions. And yeah, I think that a lot of parents will put something on, that they've even tied things like ADD and ADHD back to some of the chemicals that we are consuming as kids.
That is very interesting.
I don't know.
Really, it is. But the problem is I think there hasn't been enough research done. Well, that's the question. Is it that there hasn't been enough research done, or has there been tons of research done to prove it, and it's getting squashed by the food companies that want to keep putting the chemicals? I don't know.
Well, and that could be the case too. I mean, imagine the tobacco lobby. Imagine the food lobby, the beef council, the milk. Milk is not handled the same way it was. Now, yes, it is pasteurized and it is sanitized, but all of the stuff that actually goes into that cow before it even makes the milk, I don't think you can get rid of that when you basically pasteurize the milk.
No, it's true. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And we're totally off the topic of honesty and advertising and business, but that's okay.
No, it's good. It's good. It really is. It is all about that. So the heart attack. What is it called?
Heart Attack Grill.
Yeah, we would love to. We should use that as our cover art for today's show.
I love it. I will take some pictures and post them, and I'll send them to Muhammad if he wants to use any of that.
All right. Well, today is the Wednesday episode. Strick, I think we should wrap it up here because I think that we have to. We have one more show to record for tomorrow, and just to get everybody up to date with where we are, we'll fill you in with the Amazon update if we can even figure that out.
And have maybe the Amazon listener purchase of the week.
Amazon listener purchase of the week. We'll fill you in with the ranking status. I can tell you some good news about some of the rankings for the Nice Guys on Business podcast.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Share with you some information about what's going on in the world of some of our past guests and stuff, and we'll make a good Thursday show to lead us into the Friday show, which is even more fun.
I love that. I've eaten lunch already, but now I'm going to go across the street to the Heart Attack Grill to get a shake for dessert, I think, right now.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of lactose or the power of nice. All right, Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
Are you sure the legal department cleared this? Okay, then. For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Hey, if these bozos want to get sued, that's their business. Leave me out of it. Wait, we have a legal department?